Saw you walking by today with the sunset in your eyes. I couldn't find the strength to say what was running through my mind.
Hey there and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a beautiful fall tablescape, and I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite recipes, which is a honey garlic glazed salmon. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. I love to do all things home decorating, cooking, and just homemaking in general, and I would love it if you would subscribe. And if you're a returning girl, it's so good to see you. Let's get started.
Beautiful in the sunset glow, in that sunset glow.
Okay, so today I want to do a quick tablescape. I cleaned the table off. The kids were doing crafts this weekend. It was Labor Day. So I wanted to take a little bit of time and reset the table, especially because our neighbors are coming over this evening. So I wanted to bring out a couple things. I picked these up last year. They're very kind of soft. It has a linen feel, but they're kind of like this tan color with a little bit of gold in it. It's kind of this pretty shimmery. I love this, and I found the perfect napkin rings to go with them. These also have a nice kind of antiquing to them that I really thought would be really pretty for the table, so we're gonna hook those in there. And then over here I found these at Target, which kind of inspired today's decorate with me, because I don't typically decorate with things like this, but my husband and I were at Target, which is so rare, and he's loved these and thought these would look beautiful kind of over here. We used to have these giant urns over there that are now in our basement, but he said, oh, these would look so pretty there. Why don't you try to decorate with something a little more neutral this year? And I thought, well, that'd be good, kind of fun. And then I found these cute little houses at the dollar spot. I thought these would look really cute next to this print, which I've used already this year, but this will kind of warm it up a little. And then maybe tuck in some of these Hobby Lobby acorns, which I love. Again, has a little bit of that brushing of gold at top, just to give it that antique feel, which I really love. So I have out some picks that I've got from Hobby Lobby and just over the years. Our cute little squirrels might make a little cameo. I found some garland that I just thought would go really beautifully with this natural vase here. And then over here, I got these at Michael's a couple of years ago. I think I picked these up the spring of 2019, but maybe older, I'm not sure. But anyway, they're really nice kind of antiquing to them. They look like they've kind of got some moss on them, but I just thought these would be really beautiful. Maybe put some picks in them kind of on the table to kind of bring this look about. I think that'd be really pretty. And then I just have some nice picks. We'll see what we're going to end up doing with these. I've got them from all over. These are the ones from Target. I went and picked up another set of these. I just think they're so pretty, and I just think the color, I really also like how matted this is. It just gives it such a real effect. I think it's really pretty. Over here we have, I got some of my other napkin rings just in case these don't work out. I wanted to also kind of have this vision in my head of using these little lights that I have. How pretty these will be. So I kind of want to tuck those in all over here and just give it a little bit of a whimsical feel. So I've got a little bit of the sparkles in here. I've got the pretty candle, which I want to kind of tuck in here, and then just create something kind of different. This is something I've never really worked with, so I'm excited to see how it turns out.
We ran wild through every season. Lit a fire to...
I picked these scarves up at the dollar spot a couple years ago at Target, and I love to wear them. I feel like they go with everything. I particularly like the one with the deeper reds and greens. The other one kind of has some more subdued colors, and I've used that on my front porch quite a few times in my decorate with me's, but I thought it'd be kind of different to use this as a kind of table runner instead of using my traditional ones, and I think this turns out really cool. I actually wish I would have done this before, because I just feel like this beautiful red and these greens and blues really pop with that gorgeous bright orange. And I really love how this kind of made me feel like taking a walk in a park with the leaves falling and having my scarf on, especially in the end. You'll see at the end when I tuck in all the lights, it just kind of comes to life. I love how this turns out. I'm going to add this 6-foot garland that I picked up from Target to create a little bit of an elevated effect. At the end of this tablescape, I'm going to actually be adding in some candles, some flameless candles, so don't worry, underneath these so they kind of light up. One of the reasons I went back to Target and actually picked up this garland was I loved how bright and vibrant these colors were on the leaves, and again, because they have such a matte finish and they're a little bit thicker, I really feel like it's going to capture the light from these flameless candles beautifully.
I could give you all I offer, the parts of me that see you through. Every winter and your summers burning red.
I wanted to add some very simple chargers that had some deep colors that would create a nice contrast with the brightness of the yellow, but still speak to a lot of the reds and kind of oranges that I kind of have going throughout the house. I decided, since I have already decorated the house for a little pre-fall, that I'd take you on a little home tour afterwards. Nothing too exciting, just to kind of show you around the house if you haven't already seen it. So definitely stick around for that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and tuck these little pots throughout here and kind of rearrange them so they don't stand too tall, but create a nice little cubby in which to hide some fun little things like apples, and I want to hide a couple pumpkins in there and some of those lights, and of course a couple squirrels. So when it comes to decorating a tablescape, I really like to do things a little fun and exciting. You'll see throughout the holidays, and especially in my Decorate With Me's, I really like to layer things. There's little hidden things in nooks and crannies around the house where you wouldn't necessarily expect them. So when it comes to a tablescape, I really genuinely like it to feel warm and welcoming for our guests, and I also like them to feel like when they're sitting at the table that they find little things that they weren't expecting, like, oh my God, I didn't realize there was a little squirrel in here, and look at this acorn, it's so beautiful. It's not just any old acorn. So I really like to create an effect with the tablescape where some might say it looks cluttered, but when you're actually sitting in front of it, it really conveys something special, almost like an experience within itself.
Dancing on the way home, spinning as the day gone, I had knew that I could take it with me, this feeling and the memories of you. Left you on the corner, Robinson and Port, with my eyes closed. Oh, I could never walk away if I was looking at your face. No, I'd never leave you.
So I'm going to start to tuck these lights down below. I love these. I will link them if I can find them on Amazon. I bought them about a year or two ago, but I love to use them. You just flip the switch and you can forget about them for the night, and they look so beautiful. I also love how they kind of flicker, so they really do look kind of like fireside candles. I think this vibe is so warm and cozy and inviting, and I think it just turned out so different and unique, and I really love it. I wanted to take a moment and also introduce myself. myself, just in case you're new to my channel. I am really new to YouTube. I've been on here for about a year now, and I've had so many new subscribers, and I just wanted to take a moment and say my name is Lauren, and I love to do all things home decor, cooking, and really homemaking. I have 4 children, and I have a full-time job, so this is an absolute hobby for me, and I couldn't do this without you. So if you would like to join my channel, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button. And because I am pretty busy and can only maybe get 1 or 2 of these up a week, I would definitely suggest hitting that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I do post, which is super at random. Like right now it's 10:30 at night, the kids are finally asleep, so I'm able to do a quick voiceover, but I will probably post this tonight at 3 a.m. So by that time when you wake up, it's ready to go for you. But if you want to hit the notification bell, that makes it super easy for you. And if you are one of my subscribers, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do something that I love so much and being so loyal to this channel.
This night was golden, and you are so beautiful to me. Walking down the street, putting your arms around me, thinking of all these memories. Our lives are full of days like these.
So for the table settings, I'm just going to be using a simple bowl I picked up at World Market, and then one of those nice Hearth and Hand black plates. And I decided to actually wrap the plate with the napkin and then use those little bowls that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I love these. I'm going to actually be doing chili in these this week, which I will try to film and put up for you guys because I love chili. But I think this turned out really sweet, and I just decided we'll add that cute little pumpkin in the center and just kind of make it a little surprise for our guests when they come in.
They fall on your shoulders. Sun sets the city on fire behind you. I see it all the same way.
I really love how these copper pots just bring more warmth into this tablescape, and it really does kind of set a different tone for this table. If you guys haven't already, definitely check out on my channel. I'll link all of them down below, but I have about 7 to 10, I think, fall tablescapes, and I also have a really awesome one that's specific to a harvest party. So if you are hosting people, that one is packed full of some of the best recipes, or you can head over to laurennicholsen.com and I've got all the recipes linked over there as well. So for this area, I just want to add that beautiful vase. I'm going to add these adorable little houses. I just thought this turned out so beautiful, and how perfect are these pieces with that piece of art. I just couldn't believe how perfect it all matched up. So then I'm going to add in some of the leaves that I picked up from Target and kind of just try to draw the eye from the table up into the corners of the dining room so everything matches.
Found a light on a hill. I was waking up, looking for peace in a world that's divided. Gotta hold on tight when you find it. I was turning around, I was waking up. You're pulling me right in, rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side. I wanna stay here forever. Playing it all like the radio. Don't see how it could be better. All I know is don't let go. Stuck in a head rush about it. We're spinning fast, we're moving slow. I don't know how, but we found it.
I decided to pull the 2 blankets from the porch in. If you guys haven't seen that, I already did one porch decorate with me video, but I have more to come this year. And I thought they would look better in here. I also love how this blue in this blanket kind of ties the fall colors in. It's so funny that these blue chairs, they're very much like a cobalt color, look really good in the summer, but then they also look great in fall. And sometimes I can find some good Christmas stuff that has that kind of blue color in it. I just love how cozy and warm this little centerpiece turned out. I love how there's like little acorns and fruit. It looks like the squirrel has tucked away all her little things for the winter, and I love the twinkle lights. I added those in last minute before I filmed this part, and it just really creates such a warm and cozy feeling. I just want to get a hot cup of cocoa and sit down and enjoy some time with my family. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought about this tablescape and what you are doing doing for fall? Are you guys decorating yet? So I'd love to know what you guys have going on at your house, and what are you getting excited to cook this year? I have so many new recipes for fall coming up. I cannot wait to share them with you. So now that we're done here in the dining room, I'm going to take you on a little tour around the house and just show you a couple of the things I've done for fall. I hope you guys enjoyed this little early fall home tour of all of our decor, because the next time I have a home decor video for fall, it will be completely different. So definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely hit the notification bell so you'll get to see all my new fall decor that's going to be coming out for my real fall decorate with me. This is kind of an early fall decorate with me / a back to school. So definitely check that out when it comes out soon. So next we're going to do a quick cook with me. So for tonight's dinner, I'm going to be making a honey garlic glazed salmon with some garlic mashed potatoes, and I'm going to be doing some broccoli. The kids were in the mood for broccoli, so I figured I'd do that. And I thought I would show you guys kind of how I do it. So to get started, before I do anything, I want to get the mashed potatoes done. So I'm going to go ahead and peel all of these, and I'm also going to be cutting up some garlic. So the way I like to do mashed potatoes, and I didn't film most of it just because it's mashed potatoes, but what I like to do is just put it in a pot, and then I'll add about 6 cloves of garlic into the pot itself. Now, I know that you'll lose a little bit of the flavor, but my kids won't eat the garlic if I keep too much of the raw flavor in it. So I actually like to cook them together. Then when I go and mash them up, I can actually kind of get that garlic flavoring in there without it being too intense for the kids. So now that I have all that together, we're going to pop the garlic out. I'm going to make sure that I have enough for my salmon as well as what I'm going to need for my mashed potatoes. So one of the other things we're going to need for this recipe is some really thinly sliced fresh lemon, as well as the ends, because we're going to be using the lemon juice in our glaze, as well as these little pieces of lemon, and we're going to stuff them in between our salmon as we cook it. I'm also going to be cutting up some green onion. I like to put this over top once it's all finished. I think it's a nice garnish, and you can actually add it to the mashed potatoes and kind of give it that twice baked potato taste as well. I'd love to know in the comments down below if you guys pre-cut everything before you start cooking. I don't know if it's just years of using things like HelloFresh and some of the other kind of at-home, I've done so many of them, Green Chef and a bunch of others, but I don't know if it's using those that it always taught me it's so much easier to pre-prep everything before you start cooking. And it also helps, like sometimes I notice if I don't pre-prep things, I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot I need this. And then I turn around to like go chop a bunch of garlic and then I burn stuff. So tell me in the comments down below if you guys also pre-chop things as well. So one of the other garnishes I like to use, I don't always use this, but I'm going to be putting this on top of our mashed potatoes, is some fresh tarragon. So to prepare the salmon, I'm going to go ahead and cut these into little fillets. Since we are a family of 4, I like to do 2 larger sizes and then some littler sizes for the kids. I have one child that really doesn't prefer to have a ton of seasoning on their salmon, so what I'm going to do is just lightly season it with some blackened spice. It's like a really nice char. It's got a lot of like smoked paprika in it, but kind of just a little bit on there, and I'm actually going to cook that on another skillet just because they don't particularly like having all the different flavors on their salmon. So I'm going to cut those up the way we need it for our family, and I'm going to get started on our glaze.
Tomorrow morning when I wake up beside you, sunlight on your face.
After you wash your hands, go ahead and add just a little bit of salt and pepper to the salmon, and then we're going to let that sit before we add our seasonings. I'm going to be adding about 2 little pads of butter, it's about 1 tablespoon each, to a cast iron skillet. We are going to be baking this for a little bit, or boiling it actually. So it's easier if you start with a cast iron skillet or something that can actually go into the oven later. I'm going to add my garlic and let that slowly saute for about a minute or until it gets fragrant and a little bit clear. To start our glaze, we're going to add about 1/2 cup of honey. I've made this recipe so many times, you'll have to excuse me. I don't actually measure anything. I kind of just can tell by the consistency how much honey I need and all the other things that we're going to be putting in here. So add a little bit of honey, and I'm going to actually add 3 tablespoons of water just to try to bring the sugar and that garlic. So you got a little acidity and a little bit of sugar kind of mixing together. The water helps everything just kind of nicely incorporate. So once you kind of see that the garlic is cooked down and the honey has really kind of incorporated with the water, you'll add your soy sauce. I'm adding about 3 tablespoons right now, but in a minute I want to actually add a little bit more because you can see how watery it is, but as you pull the water back, you'll see that the sugar is really starting to melt down, which I love, but I just really want a nice thick glaze. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more honey, probably about another half a cup or 1/4 cup, and then I'm going to add enough of the soy sauce where the color feels like it's right. Now I'm going to be using some blackened seasoning. I love this spice. It's one of my favorites. It's got some really good smoked paprika in it, and I'm going to put that on the top of the salmon, and then I'm going to add it to the bottom as well. Once you see that most of the water is cooked out of your glaze, you're going to want to add your lemon in here. I'm going to be using about, I don't know, maybe 3 tablespoons of lemon in here. I really like the brightness of it, so you can just use a half of any lemon. You don't need to use both halves unless you really like that flavor. But once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and add the spice to the other side of our salmon, and I'm going to be putting these into the skillet skin side down. So once you get your salmon all snug inside the skillet, we're going to be adding a little bit of lemon in between each piece. I like how this separates everything, and it also creates a little moisture barrier so the salmon cooks thoroughly in between each piece. Once we get all of that tucked in, I'm going to actually be basting the salmon with the glaze. I like to add just a little bit on top as I go along, and we'll do this for about 3 minutes, and just the whole time just be kind of basting the top with the glaze and getting it out out from underneath the salmon and on top of it. This is what's going to give you that nice caramelized crust. Once you can see that the sauce is kind of starting to glaze and get caramelized, you're going to want to put it into the oven. I've got my oven on broil, and I'm going to give it one last basting before I put this in for about 5 minutes. I would watch it. I actually baste it once or twice while it's in the oven just to make sure it doesn't overcook, because that sugar can start to literally caramelize in there and get very hard. While that's happening, I'm also going to be throwing some broccoli in our other cast iron skillet. I actually like to do this with a little bit of butter, and it kind of caramelizes the top of the broccoli, and it's the only way I can get my kids to eat them. They literally will eat the tops off of all the broccoli and not the rest.
I'll be a warm place to lay your feet.
So now that our potatoes are cooked, I'm going to just throw them in a colander and get them back on the stove. The way I like to do mashed potatoes is add a little pat of butter, so probably 1 to 2 tablespoons. And then I also like to add a little bit of either heavy whipping cream or half and half. It kind of creates a really fluffy mashed potato, and I just think it's super yummy. So we're going to smash that all up, but prior to doing that, let's take a look at how our salmon turned out.
When you're happy, you'll put a smile on my face. I won't be perfect, but I promise I'll try every day for you. And I will be.
So once the mashed potatoes are done and nice and hot, I'm going to be adding a little bit to a plate, and in the middle of the mashed potatoes I kind of want to cradle our salmon in there, that way it doesn't kind of roll over the plate. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit of broccoli on here as well. I'm going to do just one for you guys. I'll show you how I garnish it, and let me know in the comments down below, have you made this recipe, or do you think it's something you're going to make in the future?
I'll be the butt of the joke if it means we both laugh.
To finish off the flavors for this dish, I like to add a little bit of tarragon or some kind of green. You can do green onion too. To the mashed potatoes, I'm going to add some fresh green onion. To the broccoli, I think it just kind of gives it a little more flavor. And then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of parsley to the top of the salmon. So this is how it turned out. I would love to know what you guys think, and I cannot wait to share so much more with you. I'll add the recipe for this down below, and it'll be on my website at mrslaurennicholson.com. If you guys would like to give this video a thumbs up, I'd be so grateful, and thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to share more with you soon. Bye!
Try my best to be whatever you need me to be.